What is up guys, Andy Forrestine Runner here, and today we're back at Lydney Lake for another crack at the 5k, but today we're not racing against Matt, we're racing with him. Let me explain. Okay, so 2.4 miles done and dusted, warm up, got the drills and strides done, so I am ready to rock and roll. So the purpose of today simply is this. Last week we had a very tactical race, it was good fun. Matt kind of held and pushed and I just got schooled completely. So the purpose of today is actually more or less to go out there and see if we can hold 5:15 pace. See, and that will drop us in at 16:15. I kind of felt like on the race we were very tactical, but there was at no point by the last mile where I felt like I was really going all out. And part of me wants to just kind of try and see what that feeling is like. So that's kind of the purpose of today. It's completely off mountain marathon training, but it got me such a buzz last week that I just kind of felt like I wanted to give it another crack and see if we can go any faster. So we're ready to rock and roll. Matt is here, Kelly is here again. Just a very quick, once again, thank you for all of your feedback and everything on last week's video. It was absolutely epic. Today's a little bit more low-key. We're just kind of going out there and testing the waters and see actually what we can do. But last week was just phenomenal. Some of the comments we had was amazing. It just made it all worth it. But today is a bit more serious. Game head on. We're going to go out there 5:15 and see if we can stick it.
Oh, he's swerving and we'll have to just see when we get there.
Okay. You take the lead.
Right? I find it difficult to lock into pace, so I'll just...
Oh, ladies, come on. Oh, ladies, come on.
Ready?
3,
Hold on.
2...
Okay. Are you ready?
You call it.
Right, on your marks, get set, go. Yeah, yes. Come on, Andy, you got this. Come on. Looking good. Well done, Andy. Stick at it.
Matthew, come here. So, we have a confession to make. How did that go?
Did we? Do we?
How did that go? We were prepared for this epic, big-headed, we had a race plan last week. This week we blew it out of the water. Well, let me tell you something. Not only did we blow it out of the water, we completely blew it. 16:57 for me. What did you get?
was like a second more, is it? 60,
About
50
60, 50 something for him. I don't know what happened today. It went absolutely tits up, but I've got excuses as long as my arm, and my arms are long, but I'm not going to reel them off for you, because do you know what? Today happened and it was really, really bad. Okay, so we're just on a cool down and we're kind of trying to fathom out what's just gone on here. So obviously from a content perspective, it would have been amazing to come out and say, yeah, we were toying with you last week, we smashed it, but this week it was so odd. There's a few factors, I think, but I'm not going to make excuses. It is what it is. But it's hot today, sweating buckets. It was 18 when we started, whereas last week when we ran it was 12 or 13 degrees. Shoes, big factor. Endorphin Pro today, he's in the tempo next percent, and we both stood on the start line and we're like, we weren't amped up from our banter, we weren't amped up from the perspective of racing each other. We were just like, come on, let's just go out and see what we can do. There was no cutting edge to it, there was no, we really want this. And we ended up just kind of floating around the lake as such, and it was just such an odd sensation. So there we go, we have wrapped everything up. We've done a 2.25 mile crawl, and I suggested to Matt that maybe we just do 4 by 1 minute on, 1 minute off around there, just a bit of a morale booster and really get the legs going. So we're clocking nice sub 5 minute mile pace there. Last one 4:41 pace, so that takes the edge off it a little bit. So that's it. Any final thoughts for today before I jump into my training talk?
Doesn't always go to plan, but it's fun anyway.
Oh, it was good fun. Regardless of time, it was good fun. Make sure, as always, you subscribe to Matt's channel and Kelly's channel. Both links are in the description below. Matt has an exciting race announcement or training announcement that he's going to be announcing in this week's training vlog. So make sure you stay tuned on his channel for that. I'll talk to you in a second about how training has been going. So there we go, back home now. I apologise, it's a bit of a different angle. You're normally used to seeing me set up with the camera. I'll be honest with you, I'm flipping knackered. I can't be bothered to set up the camera. So I just flaked out on the sofa after that effort today. I'll just wrap up basically what happened, and then of course talk about training, because I said I'd give you a training update. I know there's not been a training video, so this is kind of all-encompassing a 5k effort and giving you an update as to where we are. A couple of weeks ago, we hit 10,000 foot of elevation in the week, which is awesome, just over 50 miles. So we got some good solid runs in there. Last week we hit 6,000 foot, a little bit less obviously, but we had a couple of runs. We had the 5k time trial, and then I had to do a buggy run on the Friday with my baby boy, which is amazing. First ever buggy run. So that was pretty special. So I ended up doing that instead of a hilly run. So there was a couple of runs there that we didn't get the elevation, but on the whole, again, 51 miles that week, nice and solid, focusing on the vertical. This week we started off really well. Monday, yesterday, we ended up doing nearly 2,000 foot, 1,900 and something over 9.5 miles. So that was a really solid up and down a hill, just keep repeating, going up and down. So that was solid. Today's effort obviously is on the flat, so the rest of the week is going to be focused on the hills, and again, get back to that 10,000 mark. Well, that's the goal. We'll see how we go. But just kind of recapping today, it's such a strange one. I can't really explain what's happened other than the variable factors that we had today. We weren't in the racing shoes, we weren't in the next percents. I have to say, I have to admit now that I do feel the next percents give you the edge over the Endorphin Pros. I still prefer running in the Pros. They give me a better racing feel. Me and Matt were talking about this. I think we both prefer the feel of the Pros. But I think the next percents just deliver on a level that I haven't found a comparative shoe yet, which is so sad. I still stick with the fact that I would choose the Pro over the next percent because I do prefer the way it feels, but I think you're going to get better results with the next percent, and of course results speak for themselves. So there was that. It's stupidly hot today. Have another mini heat wave, so that didn't help. I did 2.5 mile warm up. I was sweating buckets, and just that lack of adrenaline, that lack of focus that we had in last week's race, where it really felt like a race. We were really going for it, like, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to beat you. We didn't have any of that today. We both rocked up to the line. Well, I was lethargic, he wasn't. My legs were feeling sore from all the climbing. Not that that's an excuse, because I got going and my legs felt great. So I was really surprised with that. I thought my legs aren't going to get going this morning, but they felt great. So I don't know what happened, other than to say that Matt absolutely went off and my watch GPS messed up straight away. So the first mile clocked at 5:53, as I said in the beginning. And I just thought, you know what, I just need to stick and hold at this pace. Whatever this pace is, it feels as hard as last week, if not a little bit harder. So just stick at it and you might just get that sub 16:30. Matt went off into the distance. I was thinking in my head, oh man, he's going to get a sub 16 today. And then I started to catch him up to the point where I think I was a little bit closer to him on the finish line this time than I was last time, considering the gap that he put on me. And I think he went out hard. He went out of that goal pace that we set at 5:15, which I just couldn't handle. Quite frankly, I just could not handle it. I'd have blown up, and I think he got pretty tired towards the end. And yeah, we've both been left scratching our heads as to what happened. But it's all part of training. It's all part of the fun. It's all part of the learning journey. I think I can just put mine down to the middle of a marathon training block. I think I can just put mine down to lack of adrenaline. We can both say last week was an immense effort. This week was just kind of ended up being that tempo effort really more than anything, although I've got to say I worked pretty hard, and hence why we chucked in the 4x1 minutes at the end. So that's kind of the summary of today, summary of training. I hope you enjoyed another race vlog around Lydney Lake 10K. Subscribe to Matt, subscribe to Kelly in the links in the description below. Thank you so much for following on, all the new subscribers. We smashed through that 8K mark. I'm super excited to push on to 9K and then of course that big 10K. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Until then,